Welcome, everybody, to beautiful San Luis Obispo. We're back for another episode of the San Luis Obispo Real Estate Podcast with Hal Sweasey / Bobby Kelly. Hal is, I think he's out on a listing or doing something right now, so Bobby's taking over. We couldn't wait for him. So, Bobby, how you doing?
I'm well. I'm happy to be here.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And as always, JT's here. How you doing, JT?
I'm so excited about this episode.
I am.
Because we're going to talk about a subject that I know absolutely nothing about. So I'm pushing the button. I'm in listen mode only for the rest of the podcast.
For sure. And I have a lot of questions too. Albert, you're back with the gang. How are you doing, sir?
It's great to be here, and thanks for the invitation back. And I actually looking forward to talking about staging. I have a fun story I'd love to share with you about.
Oh, yes. Awesome. Well, Bobby, let's get right to it. Let's talk about who we have here, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I want to welcome Jessica Bass with Acacia Creek Home Staging. Jessica, you've really made a name for yourself on the Central Coast. I see those trucks everywhere. So I'm wondering if you can give us a little background, tell us how you got here, and how you decided on this career.
Yeah, it's been a long road. It's been this is our 15-year anniversary as a business this year. So
congrats.
Yeah, it's been amazing to watch this business grow and just kind of see people actually really believing in home staging and see the benefits that it can do when selling a home. So I started when I was in college. I worked for my aunt who was a real estate agent. I thought I would dabble in real estate. And so I decided to work in her office for a year and see if I wanted to do it. After about 2 weeks, I thought, I do not want to be a real estate agent. But by being in that environment, like she would always have me, put little knickknacks in the kitchens and the bathrooms. And then one day somebody just asked her who her home stager was and asked if I would take on her job. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. And I rented furniture, I borrowed furniture, I made floral arrangements, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. Once somebody saw that listing, they asked who their stager was, and then just over 15 years, we've slowly, organically built our business, and now we stage over 200 houses a year.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Oh my goodness.
How many people are on your team?
There's 8 of us right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
So I've got a couple movers and then a couple assistant designers, and it takes all of us.
Wow.
That's a big production.
Yeah.
So where are you located?
So we are located in San Luis Obispo. We have a warehouse, and then we stage properties all the way to Santa Maria, out to Cambria, and up to Paso, and then out to I think that's, kind of our surrounding area.
Okay. Yeah. So is every job the same when you go into these homes? I mean, I imagine you get to see some incredible homes on the Central Coast. Are you deciding what to put in based on the style of the home? Is this do the sellers have input, the agents? What does this process look like for people?
So we definitely take the style of the home and the location into consideration when we're deciding what type of furniture and accessories. Most of our furniture we try and keep pretty contemporary, light colored, just to make a house feel more open and airy and light. But then we'll definitely bring in the style of the home and the location with our artwork and accessories, and then just kind of coloring. So if we're up in Paso, we'll do more landscape art, like countryside art. We'll bring in more like oranges and greens and darker wood tones. If we're out in Morro Bay or Cambria, we'll definitely do the lighter beiges and whites and blues. So we definitely, take that into consideration.
Fun, some creativity.
Yeah,
involved.
every house is so different, but if it's modern, if it's craftsman, we definitely take that into consideration. Okay. We want to make it feel like it fits the style of the home.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I get it. It would probably be easier to stage a vacant home. What the heck do you do when you stage a home that's not vacant?
Yeah, so our main business is staging vacant homes for the real estate market. When it comes to occupied homes, we don't use our inventory anymore in occupied homes. We will, if I need to loan out some artwork or something, I'll do that. But I mainly with occupied homes do consultations. So I'll walk through with the owner room by room and give my, opinion on what they should take off the walls. I'll a lot of times tell realtors, let me be the bad guy.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
Yes, you guys have to stick with them. Yes. So I'll help them decide what to declutter. I'll be the bad guy, tell them to take family photos off the wall because you want to make the house as impersonable as possible. You want to make somebody feel comfortable in your house and not like they're invading somebody's space. So I'll walk through and tell them to take all that stuff off the wall and move furniture to the garage if it's, too overcrowded. So yeah.
Okay. I have a fun story on this, and Bobby, you don't know this. So HGTV used to have a television show called Stage to Perfection, or Stage to Sell, I think was the name of it. My wife and I were like episode 2 of the first season. And so it was one of our homes that we were in.
Your own home?
Yeah. And we were selling our old place in Marina Del Rey. So the interesting thing about that was, at the time, the staging company was trying to get into expanding their business by staging occupied homes, right? And at the time, I had 2 kids. And so I was just going to encourage you to not get into that business because I'm not sure half that stuff was ever usable again. So probably you experienced that firsthand.
That's one of the reasons why we don't use our stuff, our like especially furniture and linens.
Yeah.
Just we've had kids puke on our stuff. We will stage a bed and find dog bones in the bed. We've had cats scratch leather furniture. It's
And when
it's just too hard.
You're going with like white light tones to start with. Basically, it's ask my kids.
Yep. So then you probably have a scope of things that you offer, like a range, because you could do like a minimal stage, or what does that look like? If somebody comes to you and is like, I know we need this, but we can't necessarily go for the full deal. What does that look like?
No, we definitely offer packages to help with everybody's budget. Most of the time, realtors will call me with just the location and square footage and a few details of the home, and then I can give an estimated cost just based off of that. Okay. If that's within their ballpark, then I'll go look at the house, and then I'll usually do a partial stage quote, which is all rooms in the house, and then all main living areas, and then just the primary bedroom. Okay. And then the full stage, and then we can do add-ons with patio furniture and stuff, but that we can, the main spaces to be staged, number 1 is the living room. Number 2 is the primary bedroom, which a lot of people are like, well, can we just stage main living areas? I'm like, main living areas and the primary bedroom. It's kind of something I always insist in because it's number 2, like on the list of staging. So living room, primary bedroom, and then it's kitchen, dining. And then we can save on costs by leaving bonus rooms, spare bedrooms. Those are kind of lower on the selling point. Okay. So yeah, we can definitely work with people's budget.
Okay. So if you are giving advice to your friend who lives out of state or out of the area, what are the main things that you're going to tell them that they could do for themselves if they're trying to sell their home?
Yep. So definitely you want to make sure your home is the cleanest it can possibly be. That's like one of my number 1 things. And then making sure all walkways are clear. You don't want people's home to feel, or your home to feel cramped. If you have an extra chair you can take out of a room to make it feel bigger, take out side tables to make a living room, like the space to walk into a living room more open. Little things like that. Taking a lot of artwork off the walls. I'll definitely, when I do consultations, I'll tell people to take a lot of artwork. Like you want there to be voids and blank walls so that buyer's eyes can, have a chance to rest and not feel overwhelmed. And then just, as far as closets go, picking stuff up off the floor, just hiding little knickknacks, hiding as much personal stuff as possible, taking family pictures down, taking any religious stuff down. Okay. You want it to just be as appealing to most buyers as possible.
Okay. Yeah. Probably some good examples of this would be Hal's listings, because I know that they've used you and had some great success with, the homes show beautifully. So there's clearly, they see the value. So JT, have you seen a difference? There must be a reason why you guys.
Well, that was the question I had for Jessica. You're going out on a sales presentation. You're trying to sell the person on using your company and your services, right? My guess is you probably have some data in your sales presentation that suggests a return on investment.
I was going to ask that too.
Yeah, I'd love to hear about that.
200 transactions a year. That's like 5% of the whole county in terms of the total number of sales. So like, not only that, congratulations. That's a huge business success. So I hope that's awesome. But also in the process of doing that much business, you probably have identified what's your average return on investment then?
Yeah. The average return on investment is anywhere from 5 to 15% over asking price. So, that's a huge deal. Not to mention that it sits less time on the market. So you're saving money on overhead costs, mortgages, each month. So it definitely can make a huge difference in the cost. But yeah, I would say this year so far, we've staged over 150 so far this year. And I would say I know at least 50 of those have sold over asking price, which is for this, it's normally more this year. I mean, that's a pretty good number still with this market and things being a little harder to sell this year. So it definitely works.
So is it 5 to 15% over asking?
Yes.
Or is it 5 to 15% over what it would have sold for without?
That's a great point, because sometimes you start with an unrealistic number, right? So
Yeah.
It's over asking. I know it's a lot of the times I'll ask realtors what they're going to list it for, and then we'll stage it, and then I'll see them list it, and they've listed it for more.
Yeah. See, that was what I was interested in.
It's like
list price is kind of a not really an accurate number, because that's just a wild guess about what the market will bear. You know?
Yeah.
I follow a lot of agents from the Central Coast. Obviously, that's part of my job, and I see all of them singing your praises. I mean, Instagram after Instagram of we got over asking, beautiful staging. So I know they really consider you a part of their team. So I'm sure you get to know these people pretty well, and you're.
Yeah. I mean, you could also call us a marketing firm, because we definitely, help realtors market a house for the real estate market. And, like I said, almost 100% of buyers look at a house online before they'll even step foot in the house. So if they look at a picture online and see a beautifully staged home, like they're going to want to go see it, whether it's, in their price range or not. A lot of people have told us, this was a little out of our price range, but it's so pretty. Like we just wanted it so bad.
So for somebody like Mr. James Waino, our director of marketing, who does all our professional photography, going to shoot a home that's staged.
I love it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I was just about to say too, we literally had a side-by-side brand new build. One of them you staged, the other one you didn't. You know exactly what I'm talking about. And it sold, the stage one sold. They're identical, little identical, brand new builds. Can't get any cleaner, right? And the stage one sold.
Yeah, but it's buyers, everybody these days are making decisions with emotion.
Yeah.
And so when they walk into a house that's the living room set up, their bedroom is set up, like they want everything in it, and they can just imagine themselves living there. It's kind of a no-brainer. It just makes their decision so much easier because they have that emotion tied to it.
Yeah. Well, I've got a home and I want to sell it, and let's say it's got a market value somewhere in the neighborhood of $1 million. It makes our math easier. And because I used you to stage my home, I ended up getting $1,050,000. Okay, what's it going to cost me to make that extra $50,000?
It's going to cost you a lot less than that.
Well, that's what I was hoping you would say. That's the right answer.
I know. Giving prices is kind of hard just because so many houses are so different. A lot goes into our pricing as little things like if there's built-in shelving, if there's a steep driveway, that's going to take us longer to carry furniture. If it's multi-level, that takes us a lot longer. So there's a lot of little nuances that go into our pricing, but our prices would range anywhere from like $2,500. I want to say the most we've ever charged was $7,500. So it's
if I
less than your first price drop. Let me tell you that.
Yeah, significant.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Staging will always be less than your first price drop.
So I spent the $7,500. I got $1,050,000. I got 50 more, we think. So I'm getting almost 7 times on my money.
It seems like the biggest reason to not do it is because you happen to live there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's it's like pretty much a no-brainer unless it's occupied.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yep.
It seems like, sorry, JT.
No,
I just cut you off?
that's what I'm learning. I mean, I was thinking exactly what Robert said.
That's one big thing. Like realtors will be like, well, how can I sell this to my client? I'm like, number one, tell them it will be less than your first price drop.
Yeah.
And a price drop doesn't look good on for marketing. So if you can get that sold before you have to make that first price drop of, the least you're going to do is $10,000. So staging's less than that. So why wouldn't you just go for it?
What a great marketing tagline, Jim.
Yeah.
It'll be less than your first price.
I love it.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's good.
It presents it better
Or
right off the bat.
I'm imagining people are falling in love. They fall in love with the house. They see themselves living there. And the next question has to be, can you just leave everything here for me?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
can I just live in it like this?
Basically, everybody asks us that.
Okay. Yeah. What does that look like?
We do sell everything we stage with. So everything in the house is for sale. It's just a great buyer incentive. We do really take time to curate our staging. So we do buy nicer pieces of furniture and nice artwork because we do know a lot of people ask that question. So we have had multiple people say they've bought our houses that have been staged over other listings because it's already staged, because it's an investment property, and it's done. They want to rent it out and
that
it's
makes
fully
total
furnished,
sense.
and now they don't have to deal with it.
I love it.
So it's a huge buyer incentive. And then we also have homeowners that, walk in and say, I love that artwork, or I love that console, or can I buy the couches off? Like, I sold a couch set yesterday and 2 chairs. But it's also great for realtors if you're walking around with a buyer and they buy the house and you hear them say, oh, I love that piece of artwork. Like, you could
gift it.
surprise that.
Yeah.
It's a great
So
surprise for a buyer's
Love
gift
that.
instead of your average basket.
Yeah.
Hal himself bought a house. It was before COVID, so it had to be 2019 or so, and it was staged, and he bought it as is. I'll take it all.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
If you
I mean,
can.
that being said, though, styles change, right? So I imagine you have this entire warehouse full of items.
Yep.
It's great if people buy them because then they're cycling through also. But how do you stay current? What are you doing to keep yourself? I mean, this is a creative process too. So what does that look like for you as far as like seeing the trends and always staying up to date?
Yeah, so I go to staging conventions where we learn all about new design trends. And then I go to the Las Vegas market every January, and that's where we do most of our buying for the year. So, just by being there in the showrooms, you're seeing all the new design trends, new coloring, new styles. So we definitely try and keep up on that. And that's one of the reasons why we sell everything, is so that we can keep cycling through our inventory and keeping up to date.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
For sure.
In my role with Hal's team, I work more on the business than in the business. And what I've observed when I hear about the relationship part of the business that they create with clients, and clients almost become, maybe people they didn't know before almost become friends, right? Because they get close to them during this process. And to your point a little while ago, it is an emotional process that we're going through. And I'm just wondering, at the end of the deal, how many of the clients that you work with, you end up, almost becoming friends with them because of the, obviously better outcome for them.
Yeah. No, we stay in touch with a bunch of clients. Like, I'll, tell people, like, you call me if you have any questions on like where to find a piece of artwork, or if you need help sourcing stuff. So they'll definitely come to me to like help them if they've just loved the staging, which most of them do.
Yeah.
Kind of helping them set up their own house.
It must be very rewarding for you to be
It
in
is.
this business.
Yeah. That's
watch.
definitely what's kept me in it for 15
Yeah, I was going to
years.
say.
And to be
It's a lot of work, but we see the benefits of it.
I mean,
So
to
yeah.
help people sell their homes faster and for more money, I know these guys just get such a reward for that. And I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about the internal reward, the psychic income, if you will.
The feeling of
Yeah.
a job well done.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, selling a house is one of the biggest, most stressful moments in your life. So if we can come in and make that a little bit easier for people by getting it sold faster and for more money, then that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
win-win.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, really for anybody, but Jessica probably first and foremost. Your thoughts on, I don't know what the actual technical term is, but the digital staging where they insert.
AI staging.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Oh, I was going to ask about that. but I didn't know if that would be
virtual
like
staging,
an
yeah.
off-the-chat
Virtual
topic.
staging,
staging,
yeah.
digital staging. Yeah. We don't offer that.
I find that it looks fake.
Well,
It is fake.
So that's right. 'cause it
I
is,
know.
yeah.
It is fake. Yes. That's one.
It's gotten better. It's gotten much
it
better.
has gotten better. And yes, like I said, most people will look online before they step foot in a house. And so it does help in that aspect. But once they do step foot in that house, their first reaction is instant letdown. Like,
I was going to say,
Right.
I've heard it out of
is
their
this
mouth.
the right? Yeah.
The
Yeah.
emotional
They're like,
journey is happy,
is it
less happy.
great?
And it actually
Yeah.
feels less valuable
Yeah.
because you had a higher expectation and
Yeah.
you're like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's the last feeling you want them to feel as soon as they walk into a house.
Right.
It's instant letdown. where's the furniture? This isn't what it looked like online. And it's then all of a sudden they start looking at all the flaws in the house. And that's, so we don't offer that.
You feel like you're getting, so I bought during COVID, so it was very competitive market, got outbid on a lot of properties, all that.
Yep.
And we would look at property, hours and each day looking at properties and is this one house that we can look at and do a bid on? And then once we would notice it was digitally staged, we felt like we were being frauded out the gate.
Yeah.
And we'd be like, no, they're putting fake furniture in their pictures, and we disregard it immediately.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's
good
good to hear.
question,
Yeah,
Jeff.
good
Great
job.
answer.
See, these guys know what's up. Okay, I am wondering though, what is one thing you really wish people did understand about the value of what you do?
Just that, like I said, people are making decisions with emotion right now. And when you're selling a house and it's one of the most stressful times, like you just want to create like the best opportunity possible for as many buyers to walk into your house and feel a connection, feel like they can make this house their own, and just make the process easier. Like it just makes the process easier. It makes it more enjoyable for buyers. It makes it easier on real estate agents.
We appreciate it. That's for sure.
Photography
We really do.
makes
Photography.
it easier.
Yeah, there
My
you go.
job easier.
Yes,
Yeah.
everybody
pieces.
involved. It just
Yeah.
makes the process easier and more enjoyable.
Well, you're definitely an asset to have on the team.
Thank you.
You know, Hal's team closed a milestone transaction last month when they closed their 3,000th transaction in the
that's
history of Team Sweasey. Wow. And I would bet if you ask Hal, one of the frustrations of the 30 years would be when the clients take his professional advice based on 3,000 transactions and that kind of experience, they tend to do a lot better than when they don't take his advice. I mean, and it's hard to say that and be humble. So I'm saying it, not Hal saying
So he doesn't have to say it.
You know, but I would bet that your role is similar to that. When you can get the client to pay attention to your expertise and follow your lead, they probably do better. Is that right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. But it's hard to say
It
do it
is.
the way I tell you to do it, and
Yeah.
it'll turn out better. You know.
Yeah. It's hard because, I mean, staging, it is an option. It's not something you have to do when you're selling your house. And there's already a ton of costs, you know, on landscaping, cleaning carpets and painting. Like there can be a lot. But when you really sit down and like look at what it can do for you, selling it faster, selling it for more money, making the job easier on everybody, it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth the cost.
We definitely see the value.
Yeah.
Okay, so, do you have another question?
Well, I'm just thinking our average sale this year is $1,150,000. And so when you think of $2,500 to $7,500 on $1,150,000, I mean, it's a lot of money when you know, it is a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money.
Definitely worth it.
And it's tax deductible.
Oh, there you go.
Hey.
See?
Could have started with that. Okay.
didn't know.
Before we head out, I just want to see how can people get a hold of you? What's the best way to find you, to reach you?
Yep. So you can go on our website. It's just acaciacreekstaging.com. And then also our Instagram, I would say, is our most up-to-date social media.
Okay.
We kind of keep that up to date on recent stages that we've done. So it's Acacia Creek Home. And then you can call me, realtors can call me anytime. Like I said, over the phone, just give me the location, square footage, any little details, and I can give you an estimate over the phone just to make it easy. And then from there, we'll get it on the books and get it staged.
Awesome.
And get it sold.
I love it.
It's less than your first price reduction,
It is all we
and
need to
it's
know.
tax deductible.
Yeah,
You
done
gotta
and done.
love it.
Win-win. Why wouldn't you?
Hey, James.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
I told you I was excited about this episode.
Yeah.
You know, this is the first time in over 130 episodes, Jeff, right?
Yes.
Where we got to use the word puke.
That is true. That is true.
Those kids.
You're probably
Way
right.
to dial it
statistics
in.
on that.
Okay.
Honestly,
This is my contribution. I was just teeing that up for you.
Jessica, in all honesty, we wouldn't use anybody else. You're amazing at your job. We love it, especially me taking the photos when I walk in. The first one that comes into mind was the one in Shell Beach that we had, and it was just amazing. And it is. When I opened the door, I'm like, wow, this looks awesome. Because I saw the empty, and then after it's staged, so
Yeah.
it's huge. It's huge.
You're great at
So
Thank you.
you are definitely Team Sweasey approved. We would never use anybody else.
I'm happy to be part of the team.
Yeah, thank you so much. All right, any last questions for anybody? Going once, going twice. Okay, I'll put your information on the YouTube video. So if somebody wants to contact you, they can just look on there and click on your website and your Instagram if there's anything else you want to add. Plus, if you can send me some photos, I'll put some examples as you're talking to it through the podcast.
All Hal's listings. I'll send you lots of his photos.
Oh, perfect. I wouldn't accept
Or
the other
yours.
ones, I don't think. Mr. Kingman, do you have anything else?
No, I think it's good. We will go ahead and put the links in the description of the podcast if you're listening on the audio version. And you can find Jessica and Acacia Creek Staging there as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And everybody, don't forget, we do accept questions now. There's a phone number I'll post on this video, and then I think Jeff will have it on the recording as well.
Yes.
If you have any questions for Hal when he comes back, we'll talk about it. We might even make it an entire episode if it's good enough, right? That would be awesome. If you anybody wanted to contact us about any questions that you have about the real estate market. So that's what we're here for, to talk about those. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate you, and we will talk to everybody next week.